Hey everybody. Um, all right, one of the most frustrating problems that I've had recently has been wild birds stealing eggs. So have a look here. We get um, crows and magpies coming into the house and stealing our eggs. Now, many of you will know we sell hatching eggs, and we keep a tight flock of each breeding group. And so we don't get that many eggs per day. We really don't have that many eggs to waste. Um, and so it's really frustrating when the birds come in and they literally just peck a hole in the egg and then they suck out a little bit of that egg and then they leave it and the rest goes to waste. I mean, you can see there, this little one likes to come and pick up the waste. Usually I take that and I'll feed that to the worms, but sometimes she gets it. Uh, yeah, so how have I been? I mean, first of all, the problem that we have is that we're in a very free rangey kind of environment. We're in this house which has lots of airflow and light, which is a great positive. The downside is that there are potentially holes everywhere where birds can come in, and I have tried. I need to get to netting that little strip there, but as you can see, I've got this mesh which I've put up on the open doors. Now this manufacturer they do have a solution where you can have a blind that you pull down there, which I have the blinds. I just need to get around to installing them. But then of course there's all the other little areas where potentially in the corners I've plugged the corners up. Potentially birds are getting in there. It's really hard. Like, magpies are very clever, and they seem to be able to wedge themselves through quite small holes. But I'm definitely, that strip up there is my next port of call. Anyhow, the other solution is, of course, trying to protect the eggs at source. So um, you'll see the Welsh Harlequins here. I mean, unfortunately, the drakes don't seem to do a good enough job of actually like chasing off the wild birds. I mean, I think magpies and crows are pretty aggressive, and perhaps they'll see off one of our drakes. Um, but so that is those are our nest boxes. Okay, and as you can see, what I've done is I've put a plastic silage sheet cut up, and I've made a little lid for this one. I've actually collected the eggs today already, so you don't see them in there. This one is a much less formal arrangement. I've just literally put a plastic sheet over the nest box. So what they do is they'll come and the ducks will come and crawl underneath the plastic and they'll lay their eggs there. They like it because it's a dark spot. Um, but also, my theory is, and I think this does seem to be working. My theory is that the crows and the magpies they're too suspicious to actually climb under this plastic tarp. They don't want to, they're worried that there might be they're smart enough that I think they're worried there might be some sort of trap there. So far I am managing to control the bird problem by actually keeping the nest boxes more private. So at the moment, the only issue is when a duck lays outside of its nest box. That's when the crows or the magpies will come and um, steal that egg. So, but as long as the ducks lay in the nest box, the eggs seem to be safe. So there's many reasons you want ducks to lay in the nest box. Number one is that it keeps the eggs clean, and number two, if you've got this kind of setup, I think it helps protect the eggs from wild birds. So I need to do two things. One is I need to make sure that as many of these holes are plugged as possible in the house. But the other is just to make sure that the nest boxes themselves are private enough and the ducks are laying in there. Anyway, I've heard lots of people have challenges with birds. If you have any ideas about how to keep birds away, apart from having like a very well sealed house, let me know in the comments. See you next time.